fundamentalists. They're Christian fundamentalists, but not all Christians are fundamentalists. They're Muslim fundamentalists, but not all Muslims are fundamentalists. They're Jewish fundamentalists. They're not all fundamentalists. There's the issue of culture, of dress, food, and customs, and in fundamentalism. Also, I'm going to just mention the issue of discrimination. Do you think that people are discriminated against in this country? You do? Okay. In what ways? Is it like too late? Is it 4 o'clock? You're all sort of having sugar or need your caffeine or something? Yes? Go ahead.
Based on the situation. I think it's based on the situation.
So explain that a little bit more.
Well, I work in a workplace where I'm the youngest, and there's always kind of inside things that don't get passed down because, I wouldn't know.
So you feel like you're being discriminated because you're the youngest? Sure. That happens. That happens. Also, if you're the oldest. Anybody else? Okay. Well, I'm sure you can think of issues of discrimination among yourselves. Do you think it's always obvious? No, you're right. It can be really subtle a lot of times, and that's sort of the most unpleasant. Well, I'm going to tell you a few of my own personal stories. Okay, I went to elementary school in this building. We had music. I loved going to this school. It was campus school, and it was a really wonderful school. And our teachers were professors. Those were our elementary school teachers, and we had a lot of student teachers. But we celebrated Christmas here. We learned Christmas carols. I must know every Christmas carol. I know them in Latin, in Hawaiian, in Spanish, in French. I know more Christmas carols than my Catholic husband does. And we were in plays as well. For example, we had food in school. We had ham a lot. I personally don't eat it, but also we had it during Passover, when not only do you not maybe eat ham, but you also don't eat bread. You eat things that are leavened. So that would leave me and students like myself in a situation where we really couldn't eat. And actually, I'll go back to the point before, the Christmas in school, the carols. I remember singing these songs, and I loved being part of the chorus and singing loudly, but when you would get to, like, Jesus our Lord, sort of not saying it, but mouthing it and thinking I was going to hell, worried that I was going to be in trouble, worried that something was going to happen. I mean, you're a kid. You don't know any better, and you think this isn't me, but I have to do this because I'm in school. Tests or assignments on Jewish holidays, big tests or assignments. That was a problem, or a real lack of understanding from your teachers about Judaism or Jewish families, or whatever religion or practice you might be. When I grew up a little bit, and I worked at Channel 29 for a little while, and I asked for some holidays off. I didn't ask to be given the day. I asked to take them as personal days, and I had a little bit of difficulty. But we had one situation. We were taping. We would tape masses. They would run a mass every Sunday, and we would tape them like in 2 days, 10 or 20 masses, and we had all different groups, and it was called Mass for Shut-ins. So sitting in the control room with the producer and the directors, and their idea of a joke was that this was funny, and so we were there talking about me or Jews as Christ killers, and the studio mic, the control room mic was on. So on top of this tape of a Catholic Mass was this banter. Went on at 7 o'clock in the morning that Sunday. I had a lot to answer for. It was just, I was just embarrassed that they were so stupid. But anyways, these are my own remembrances of things. And I love being in this country. I feel very lucky that my grandparents were all able to come over here. None of them were born in the United States, and I feel very lucky. But So in my job, I work with the Jewish community. I work for the Jewish Federation, and I'm the community relations director. I work within the Jewish community on issues like Israel, who believes on leaving Gaza and who doesn't, so inter-Jewish issues, as well as working with Christians and Muslims. We have a Jewish-Palestinian dialogue. We have a Jewish-Presbyterian dialogue. We work with Hindus and Catholics, other denominations, African Americans, Hispanics. We have dialogues with everybody and work to have good relationships with everybody so that when times of crisis come, and believe me, they show up. They walked in the door the other day in the Hamas election in Palestine, that we have our relations with people who we are going to need to help us in place so that we can use them and continue to work together. I sometimes help leaders of political officials with Jewish community issues. Someone will call and say, is that all right? What do you think if I send holiday cards to these people? And I would say, well, these would be okay. I think these other people might not especially appreciate it, and sure, you know, or what should I wear to go to this event at the synagogue? Or how should I, you know, and so I serve as a resource for people. I also have people who call up someone who was working at Casino Niagara and said, he was a Russian immigrant. He said, they're making me work on Yom Kippur. They won't let me take it off as a holiday. What should I do? Well, what we do is we have legal help. It happens to be in New York, and we work to help these people deal with, that's a discrimination issue. There's all different kinds of discrimination issues, but that's a definite discrimination issue. In religious and cultural, in practicing public relations, whatever you do and whatever your publics are, your clients, you need to pay attention to the basic working environment. You need to not be subjected to other religious conversions or symbols. You need to have respect for holidays, for other people's holidays, respect for their practice, for their clothing. Some religious Muslim women wear head coverings. Students here do. Some religious Jews wear kippahs. Some others wear wigs. Other people wear other things. It's very important to pay attention to their food, to their observance, to their funeral and grieving practices. Different people do different things. And it's very important to respect the person as an individual. That's where it all begins. I'm going to use Judaism as an example. It's a minority religion. Minority rights are protected in the United States. We have the right to take religious holidays as a vacation day. I never expected to get Yom Kippur off. Sometimes that happens at UB. I'm not sure whether that happens here.